What's up, guys? This is video lesson 6.2, and you are going to learn about numerical expressions and order of operations. So let's start out by reading some vocabulary words up here. It says a numerical expression like 3 times 2 plus 4 times 4 is a combination of numbers and operations. The order of operations tells you which operation to perform first so that everyone finds the same value for an expression. Now, here is the good news for you guys. We have been doing order of operations so much in our math homework that I don't need to go over examples 1 and 2. So here's what I want you to do. You're going to be doing A and B in a second. But I want you to draw the Pemdas pyramid. So remember, it's please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So draw it between A and B. And I want you to use it and do A and B while the video is paused, and when you're done, restart it and see if you are right. Okay, go ahead. Okay, let's see how you did. So, first off, these are very simple expressions that don't have any parentheses or exponents. So we just have to start with multiply and divide. So in A, you should have done 2 times 15 first, which is 30, and 30 plus 10, which is 40. Okay, yes, I want you to show the steps. All of your work today should look like this. Okay, in B, you have 2 operations. You have multiplication and division. So remember the rule. You go left to right. So you start with 16 divided by 2 is 8. Then you do 8 times 4, which is 32. Yes, your work should look like that. So, all right, let's go on to the next page. On the next page, we're going to get into some more complicated ones. So I'm going to go over examples 2, 3, and 4, and you can watch or you could work around, but for each one I'm going to start with Pemdas. So let's start with example 3. So as I go through this problem, remember Pemdas is just a checklist that gives you the order that you should solve the problem. So we're going to start with solving anything in parentheses. So you circle that, you solve it, 9 minus 6 is 3, you bring all the other numbers and operations down. Each time you do it, your problem gets a little smaller. So we're done with parentheses, and we're going to move on to exponents. And there aren't any. So now we move on to multiplication and division. We have to take care of all multiplication and division, but we need to work from left to right. So in this next one, I'm going to start with, let me see, did I get it? Good. All right. My division on the left. So 20 divided by 4 is 5. I'm going to bring down my plus 17. My times 3, and then I'm going to do my multiplication. And 17 times 3, and if you don't know that, you do it off to the side. It's not a big deal because it doesn't take that long. So that's 51 plus 5, and I'm going to end with 51 plus 5 is 56. Notice it looks like an upside down triangle because it gets smaller and smaller and smaller until you get to your solution. Now we'll do the same thing with example 4. So in example 4, I'm going to get some workspace. All right, so I cleared some workspace, and now let me get started. First, no parentheses. Exponents. Remember, be careful when you get to exponents, because 6 squared means 6 times 6, which is 36. Bring down the plus 4, bring down the times 3. Next, multiplication and division. So there's a multiplication problem here. I have 3 times 36. So I'm going to solve that off to the side. Unless you know your 36 times tables. So that's 18, that's 9, 8, 10, 1. Okay, so 3 times 36 is 108, plus 4 is 112. All right, now in example 5, you're going to do this one with me. Now, ignore this and all of the blue boxes here, because we're just going to do it since you've been doing this long enough. You know what to do. So do it in this white space below. First off, make sure you have Pemdas written down. And we're going to use it as our checklist. So we're going to start by solving everything that's in parentheses. Now here's the tricky part. In parentheses are 2 different things. We have the 8 squared and we have the minus 2. So we have to solve both of those in parentheses before we can move on. So remember, in Pemdas, we have to do the exponent first, and then we'll do the subtraction. So when I do this, I know 8 squared means 8 times 8, which is 64. And 64 minus 2 is 62. So everything in parentheses simplifies to 62. Now I'm going to bring down my times 2 over here and my plus 5 over here. Okay, see if you made it that far. Now we're going to continue. There are no exponents, but there is multiplication, so we have to do 62 times 2. Now, if you do 62 times 2, you get 124. So 62 times 2 is 124, plus 5. And then last, you add those together, and you get 129. All right, so now here's your job. Your job is going to be to do problem C and only problem C. So I want you to follow Pemdas, and yes, you have to show your work each step of the way on this. So do problem C, pause the video while you're doing it, and when you're done, hit start, and we'll see if you were right. Go ahead. All right, let's see how you did. So I have Pemdas ready to go, and I'm going to start. I'm going to start with parentheses. So 5 minus 2 is 3. And I'm going to bring everything else down exactly how it is. All right, check and see if you're still in it. If not, you know you made a mistake, and you'll have to fix it from here. Now next, I'm looking for exponents, and there aren't any. So I go to multiplication and division. I see multiplication and division, so I have to solve both. Now I'm going to start left to right. Now 25 times 3, that makes me think of 3 quarters, because quarters are 25 cents, and that's 75. So now I'm going to bring down the divided by 5, minus 12. Next, I have to do the division. 75 divided by 5. And you might know that one in your head, but again, don't be afraid to do a little division. It's not a difficult problem. 5 goes into 7 once, which is 5. Subtract, bring down, and 5 goes into 25 5 times, which is 25, 0. So 75 divided by 5 is 15. So I'm going to write down my 15 minus 12, and 15 minus 12 is 3. All right, if you had that one right, good. It's a tricky one. These C and D are tricky. If not, you learn from it. And now we're going to go on to problem D. Now here's what I want you to do. I want you to pause the video, and you are going to do D completely by yourself. Restart the video when you're done, and see how you did. All right, go ahead. Okay, let's see how you did. So first, we have to start by solving everything in parentheses. And notice parentheses have 2 things going on. So the first thing I have to do is the 2 cubed. Remember, that means 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 2 is 8. So the 2 cubed is 8. 8 plus 4 is 12. So everything that's in parentheses here simplifies to 12. And then I'm going to bring down my 24 divided by 12, which is the last thing I have to do. I just have to divide, and 24 divided by 12 is 2. If you had that, give yourself a C. If not, make sure you pause it and fix it before you move on. All right, so now we are on to the last page, and we'll go over example 6, and then I'm going to have you try problem E. So in example 6, it says, write an expression for the total cost of 5 lotions, 2 candles, and 4 lip balms. Find the total cost. So I know they have it right here, but I'll show you how to do it here. I'm going to get some workspace. Give me a second. Okay, so notice in my table here, it says the cost for lotion is, this is dollars, is $5. A candle costs $7, and lip balm costs $2. So in this one, I have to write an expression for this. It says the cost of 5 lotions. So 5 lotions, each cost $5, would be 5 times 5. Plus 2 candles. Now remember, the candles are $7 each. So plus 2 times 7. Plus 4 lip balms, and lip balms are $2 each. So plus 4 times 2. That's my expression. Now, I didn't need parentheses because PEMDAS is going to say I have to do the multiplication first. So there's multiplication and addition. I'm going to do all the multiplication first. So the first thing I'm going to do is figure out the cost of my 5 lip balms. 5 times 5 is 25. Then I'm going to figure out the cost of 2 candles. 2 times 7 is 14. And then I'm going to figure out the cost of 4 lip balms. 4 times 2 is 8. Okay, so the last thing I have to do is add those together. So if I add those together, I'm going to write them up and down. So 25 plus 14 plus 8. 8 and 4 is 12. 12 and 5 is 17. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the total cost is going to be $47. Okay, so that's how you're going to be doing it here. Now you're going to be doing problem E. So we'll read it first and we'll let you get started. So it says, Alexis and 3 friends are at the mall. Now, I'm going to highlight that because I want to give you a hint. Remember, Alexis and 3 friends. How many people is that? Isn't that 4 people? Because Alexis, you have to add her to the 3 friends to get 4. All right, so think of it. 4 friends are at the mall. Each person buys a pretzel for $4 and sauce for $1 and a drink for $2. Write an expression for the total and find the cost, the total cost. So, remember, there are 4 friends, and they each get a pretzel for $4, a sauce for $1, and a drink for $2. So I want you to see if you can write an expression for this one. Okay, there's a couple different answers you can get, but then we'll see if you get the total cost. All right, pause the video, see how you do. Go ahead. All right, let's see what you did. So here's one way. If you do it like the example above, it would look a lot like this. You would say the 4 friends each buy a $4 pretzel, plus the 4 friends each buy $1 sauce, plus the 4 friends each buy a $2 drink. And then you would solve that. You'd get 16 plus 4 plus 8. And if I add all that together, 16 and 4 is 20. 20 plus 8 is $28. So the answer is $28, and here is my expression. But some of you may have started with 16 plus 4 plus 8. That's possible too. But I'm going to show you one other cool way to do it. And I don't know, maybe some of you actually did this. So let me clear away this real quick. And this is where, if you think of our inquiry lab yesterday, the product of a sum comes into play. So check it out. So remember, there are 4 friends. And those 4 friends each buy a $4 pretzel, plus a $1 sauce, plus a $2 drink. Okay. Now, if I do it that way, according to PEMDAS, I would solve everything in parentheses first. So 4 plus 1 is 5, plus 2 is 7. And then I'd have to multiply that by 4 friends, and 4 times 7 is 28. So you see, you can use product of a sum here to solve that one as well. So if you had this one, this is kind of the advanced algebraic one. If you didn't, no big deal, as long as you got your answer. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so if you are done with the video and there is still time left, your job is to be working on these problems. You don't have to do 5 below, so you have some time to do that. Okay, talk to you later. Ask me questions if you need help. Thanks.